So there are a lot of things which are happening. You are aware of that time. Second thing. Third thing is you are aware of the external world, the country you are born in, and the economy and everything. So three things are special characteristics of the waking state. Waking state is the state in which I am right now, you are in right now. We are like aware, eyes are open, the sensory perceptions are absolutely working wonderfully. But there are two more states other than the waking state, and one of the state is dream state, when you go to sleep. And the third state is the deep sleep state. Deep sleep state is when you go to sleep, you have no idea what is happening. Now let us understand, because if we need to understand, we need to understand that we are actually going through different, the mind is transcending naturally also. But what is happening, we are not aware. Now let us understand that Priya, for example, goes to sleep, and when she goes to sleep, the evening was okay. Before going to sleep also, it was a pleasant evening and everything was okay. But when she slept, she saw a dream where she's running in a jungle and there is a snake, a python following her. I think these are kind of common dreams that generally people see. Or somebody's running with the guns, and she's running and she's afraid, and she's shouting and screaming, and she's asking for help. These are normal dreams, right? And then she climbs a tree, sits there, and then she realizes the python is there. And suddenly she finds somebody from the family, wakes her up and say, Priya, get up. And she has amazing relief. Wow, thank you. But and then she wakes up and she says, do you know what kind of a dream I saw? I saw a python, I saw this and that. So somebody said, how is that possible? You see something and you have no idea. I mean, say the dreams come to us. We are the directors, we are the producers, we are the creators. We see it, we are playing a part in it, yet we don't know who's creating it. This creates a desire to know. Okay, so now the dream state gives you a desire. There is something mystic, there is something unknown in me which is parallelly working, because Priya didn't plan this dream. She didn't plan. When she went to sleep, she just went to sleep. The mind transcended. Now, who is creating the dream? Why such a dream? So this creates a curiosity that say there is something parallel which is unknown to the waking state, which is parallelly working and doing something, because she said, I didn't plan it. Then who did it? See, it's totally your internal world. What you see is a part of your own world. You cannot blame and say, ki somebody did it. I don't know. Who's creating the dreams? I have no idea. No, it's your internal world. That means there is something not known to you. There is something yet to be explored. There is something mystic and powerful beyond your knowledge and understanding, which we need to know. That is one curiosity that comes up on its own, because this desire gives us a reason that I need to know. Something in myself I don't know, I need to know that. Third is even a more smarter state, because in dream state there is still a communication. You can see visual, you can hear sounds, you participate, and it is as real as life, because there are a lot of people who, when they wake up, they're crying. There's a lot of people who during that, because it's actual at that time, you're involved. But the third state is a deep sleep state. So I said first state is waking state. Waking means I'm aware. What are the three traits? Body consciousness, time consciousness, and the third one was the world consciousness. Now, when I'm in a dream state, I'm in an absolute different world. When I'm a deep sleep state, deep sleep means you are gone. For generally, if you're sleeping for 8 hours, believe me, your sleep is hardly for five minutes or much lesser than that. That means if you're sleeping for 8 hours, 98% is the deep sleep state. And when you are in deep sleep state, you have no idea what is happening. You close your eyes, all the five senses shrink. That means eyes are closed, and you are not further perceiving the world, right? Because you close your eyes when you go to sleep, you're not speaking. Generally, people don't speak when they're sleeping. So your all the sensory perceptions squeeze, and You are into another world of your own. Remember, all the things are your own. It's all your own creation, your own mind. The only thing is some part unexplored, something yet not known, something yet to be conquered, something yet to be, we have to be harmonious with. Now, the desire comes, where was I for 8 hours? I have no idea. Somebody says, somebody goes to sleep and you wake the person in the morning. You get up. Says, I've just slept 5 minutes back. 5 minutes? It is 10 hours now. You say, no. Just imagine there are a lot of times that people have timelessness. One more thing, bodilessness, because you have no idea what is happening. And third is worldlessness. Why it is happening? If somebody has a shoulder blockage, it goes to the hospital, doctor knows there's pain. Generally, most of the medicines are sedatives. A medicine is being given to the person takes the medicine, goes to sleep. What happens at that time? The mind transcends from waking state to the deep sleep state. The moment your mind transcends to the deep sleep state, you don't cry, you don't panic. Actually, if you have a problem somewhere, even in the deep sleep state, you should cry, but doesn't happen. When people are asleep, that is why a lot of medicines have sedative, because it makes a person go to sleep, because body needs some natural time to heal. Medicine is working, immediately won't. So you take the medicine and your mind transcends. Transcend means changes its facet from the normal frequency to some lower frequency. You are not in a waking state. So when you transcend your mind, you don't cry, you don't crepe, you don't complain of pain. When a person has pain, a person has pain. A body consciousness is a real grounded truth. But when you transcend your mind, just imagine to the deep sleep state. What does that mean? You do not have body consciousness, because the mind has gone deeper into some level of consciousness. That is what we'll understand, we'll talk. But these were the questions which raised curiosity in me. I wanted to know what is happening in the deep sleep state. Am I really working, doing something at that time, or I'm just resting? So generally, when we are in the waking state, right now, which state are we? The waking state. We are gathering information, collecting information. We are seeing cars, we're seeing people, neighbor, family, everyone all around, lot of activities. We are gathering informations. We are filling it, filling it, filling it. Where? In some bag. Okay. I'll slowly introduce some terms. I'm just trying to be, no, just very raw. So we are just collecting through eyes. Okay, I like a car of an information, it's a new car, I like a house, or anything, somebody tells me something through my ears, or I smell something through my nose. Whatever, I am gathering different kind of informations, and I'm through my in the waking state and taking them and filling them somewhere. When I go to sleep in my deep sleep state, one reason is the body needs rest. Another reason is there is so much of information collected in the 16 hours of waking state that the mind transcends to a deeper state and analyzes them, sorts them. So much of it, millions and millions of information is what we have in the bag. So in simple terms, we say this state, waking state, is called the conscious mind or the conscious state of awareness. But when we transcend, when we do not have body consciousness, right now I have body consciousness, we all have body consciousness, we know we are males or females, we have this kind of a perception, awareness of what is happening. Okay, the shoulders are okay, the head is okay, all this is there, right? Time consciousness, we are from different places, we know the time. We have the world consciousness of where we are. That means all this is happening. But when you transcend your mind to the dream state, it will move in. When you go to the deep sleep state, you do not have this awareness of body conscious. Although it is there, we are alive, the body consciousness is there, but you do not have it in the deep sleep state. You exist as a consciousness. You exist merely as a consciousness. Now, this is transcending of mind. So this state, waking state, is called conscious state of mind. And you transcend, that is the dream state, and the deep sleep state is called the subconscious mind. So we'll talk a little and in details, and the program will slowly proceed. So what I wanted to maybe start with is that there is a need to know the unknown. There is certainly some mistakes, something yet to be explored. So I find there is a need, right? And now we'll proceed. I hope this journey will be blissful for all of you. I'll share a presentation so that if you wish, you can note down certain things if they are worthy. And I'll try. And we'll also have discussions related to, I'm happy that a couple of people are into meditation. We'll certainly talk about it. And we'll also do it in the end of the program, right? So I'll share a presentation with all of you. Just a second. Is the screen visible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So there is a need, as we discussed, to know the unexplored, and we also need to understand what are habits and where are they rooted. Why is it difficult to leave the habits or to handle them? Then there is some mysticism related to dreams as well. So there seems to be that there are certain secrets that we need to explore and understand, and some level of awareness that can be improved. So as I told, there are three states of consciousness. One is the waking state, and waking state is the state where you are aware of your five senses, and through the sensory perceptions you are aware of the world, and then you are aware of the time, you are aware of the body. So these things are the major characteristics. About the dream state, it is the subconscious state. It is the state where you are connected to your deeper memories, which are within, in you, already there. You have subconscious mind, or consciousness is basically that bag of sensory perceptions. You have not just sensory, all kind of impressions that you have inside, collected inside. So dream is one communication between the subconscious and the conscious state. And deep state is basically that deep subconscious state. Deep means very, very deep. So I'll show you a couple of images also through which we'll be able to understand, right? So mind is basically we know that there we have a brain. So brain, you can understand it as hardware because it's physical in nature, it is there. And mind can be understood better as the software, because like in systems and computers, we need hardware, because that's the basic structure with which you can function. But software is the internal mechanism and the processes through which the whole system will be governed. So brain can be easily termed as hardware, and mind as the software. And you can call it the operating system, which is gathering, storing, managing informations, right? So I hope this image is visible. Generally, you can see this is a kind of a structure of an iceberg. So a very small part of the iceberg is visible. And this is the conscious state explained through an iceberg. Right now, all of us are in a conscious state. Conscious state means something that we know about us. But certainly through the deep sleep state and the dream state, we realize that certainly there are things, there are facts that we don't know about us, right? First part is what we know about us. That is the conscious state. Now is what we don't know about us. So that is called the subconscious mind, that part of the mind which is not known to us consciously. I repeat, whatever we know in the waking state is called conscious mind, because you know all that facts you know is all conscious mind. But all that information that you are not aware in the conscious state is a part of the subconscious. So the whole bag of informations which is not known to you can be termed as subconscious mind. So a lot of people divide mind into two parts, conscious, subconscious. But there are more researches which say there are certain memories, certain informations in the subconscious which are deep, 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 deep within, and they've been termed as unconscious mind. Now, don't mix it up with the unconscious word that is used in the medical fraternity. Uh, Here it means certain memories which are somewhere deep in the subconscious. Subconscious means which even the subconscious does not have an idea. So we have layers. We have layers of informations that we have gathered. I repeat, we have layers of information that we have gathered. What is known to you out of the whole bag of consciousness is called conscious mind. What is not known to you, that huge bag, is called subconscious mind. That means there is so much. See, we have done schoolings. We have we have studied biology, physics, chemistry, different subject, right? So, but you don't remember everything. So I'll tell you, whatever you prioritize, it will be on a very close to the conscious mind. You close your eyes and you'll remember, but you will think, no, I don't remember everything. So all those things are stored in your subconscious mind, and those things, those informations which the subconscious also does not have an idea, are in the unconscious. So these are kind of walled structures in the consciousness where all the gathered information is collected. So I hope this part is clear, that we are talking about the mind, and luckily now everyone knows about this. So what we know is less than, actually generally data says 5%, but some people go up to the 10%, but 90% is unexplored. Just imagine, whatever you know about yourself is actually less than 3%. Some data say 5 and maximum go to 10, but just imagine 90% of your informations, you have no idea of what you have already gathered, you have collected, is stored, but you have no idea that it is with you. So subconscious mind is the bag of information, is that bag of either the sensory perceptions or words or whatever ways, desires, and it could be sensory or it could be other ways, all that it's filled. So mind means the level of consciousness is at different levels. Okay, now let's move on and let's do a small self-analysis, and then we'll further proceed. Now I want you to take a pencil and a copy and start writing. Now this self-analysis will be of help to us, and because in coming program we'll be telling you a lot of tools like switch over acts and all that, and then you can refer to what you had written. We will not be discussing your self-analysis on the group, we won't be doing it, but we'll be asking you that you had written that day, please check what you had written, right? So I'll ask questions and you keep writing your own answers, we won't be discussing them. Okay, now my first question is, do you have negative thoughts Number one. And Usika, there is a sub part. Is it of your own or generally influenced by others? Do you have negative thoughts? So you can write yes or no, or you can write in the better is you can write, yeah, sometimes I have negative thoughts, but my most important part of the question is, are they of your own? They come from within, or generally you find them, you get influenced by others. Rachna ji, I'll be happy if you keep writing parallelly. It'll be of help later on. You are muted. You can unmute yourself.
I'm writing on the computer itself.
Oh, and you were sitting still. So it seemed as if you are very seriously listening, but not writing. Okay. I'm sorry. Because, I couldn't guess that you are writing. Okay, Priya, I hope you are writing. Please keep noting them down. It will be of some help to us. Okay. Second question is, again, a very, very simple question. Are you confused in taking decisions? So you can write yes, no, or maybe. So you can write your complete statement that I am generally confused. I am not confused in taking decisions. Yeah, I am sometimes confused in taking decisions. So my question is, are you confused in taking decisions? So yes, no, or maybe. Because confusion is a very important topic we'll talk about. Why do we generally get confused? Because I told you it's a bag of information. There is so much of information. Now, so much of information means you should be knowledgeable. But another part is you can get confused. Both the things can happen. Okay. So second question is, do you get confused in taking decisions? Yes, no, or maybe. Now, third question is very interesting. According to you, what are problems? Now, this is a small definition or anything that comes to mind. I'm using one word. According to you, what are problems? So anything comes to mind, spontaneously just write it. That I feel problem is this. According to you, what are problems? Okay. Okay, now this is an interesting question. What are your strengths and weaknesses? I would appreciate should be more mental, emotional in nature, not physical strengths and weaknesses. Your strengths and weaknesses. If you can write three, I'll be happy. Three strengths, mental or emotional or whatever. Three strengths and three weaknesses if you have. Rachna, is it difficult to find out weaknesses? I can see from your
No,
face you are thinking a lot about weaknesses.
no,
Can't
no,
find
it's the
even one.
strengths. It's the strengths that I'm struggling with.
Oh, come on, don't tell me. I thought it's about weakness that you're thinking, though I can't get even one. I
No,
have to
no.
take help of
Weaknesses,
family.
I can write an essay on
Oh,
weaknesses. So.
God. Okay. Claire, I hope you are writing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The strengths and the weaknesses, I'll appreciate if you can find out three strengths and three weaknesses. Thank you, Priya. Thank you so much. Gaurav, I'll appreciate if you can open your video. Priya also, if you are comfortable. No pressures. Three strengths, three weaknesses. Okay, now I think you love this question. What are your passions? Because this is going to be of help to us. What are your passion? Passion means when you do it, you feel wow. Doing it is fun. So even if you can find one, but the wow feeling should be there with it. So it'll help us. What are your passions? That a lot of people like painting, some people like dancing, singing, anything. It could be cooking, or window shopping, or chatting, gossiping, anything. But you have to be true. And we won't discuss on the group. So you please be honest and write. Passions. Okay. Then the next question is, what is the objective, oblique, purpose of life? If you know, if there is no purpose, no objective, and you don't want to have it, it's okay. What is the purpose or objective of life?
Is it my life or
Yes,
of
yes,
life
your.
in general?
No, 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 no. Your. Like I'm talking about my purpose of life. Am I striving for something in life, looking for something in life? I want to do something in life. It could be professional, spiritual, anything. Okay. Uh, Next question is, have you ever experienced power of mind? That means you were into a very messy situation and some idea came and you could come out of it. And I would say, have you ever experienced that mind is of great help to us? It's a great tool. It's a great strength. So have you ever experienced power of mind? Means bliss to have. A lot of people do not bother about it. They have never thought about mind as such. They're just living life, earning and spending, and all that is going on. So have you ever experienced it? And if you wish to write one or two lines related to any incidents that has happened, it will be of real good help. If you are open, anyone would like to share. Priya, have you ever experienced? Can you share any incidents that, yeah, mind is really powerful and it really helps us? Some anything you wish to share, if you feel like.
I think at work, I find that I can read people in some ways. Like I can tell when somebody is being like truthful versus not truthful, and I was right.
That's good.
So I don't know if it's mind or intuition, but that I noticed that who I can trust and who I can't trust, and that happens to me a lot in the workplace. Yes.
Amazing. Rachana, would you like to share if you have ever experienced, like she has her own experiences? Do you have any experience? Would you like to share something?
Yeah, I think I've experienced it in more than one situation and very powerful sort of manifestations of what I've been thinking. Um, there was once a time when I was in very, very deep problem, and I knew that there's only one thing that can get me out of it. And I used to just focus on that, and not purposefully. No, I didn't quite realize what manifestations are at the time. It was just I just used to keep telling myself that I wish this happens, I really wish this happens, and so on and so forth. And then events turned up in such a way that what I wanted was happened exactly the way I wanted it to happen. And it was mind blowing. And now, even now, I think I've kind of lost that ability a little bit over a period of time, because now when you grow up,
Yeah.
it becomes very difficult because of XYZ reasons, and you kind of get lost in the process. That was one. And then there was another one where I actually thought, even though my friends thought I was hallucinating, but I actually thought that there were a few people who came to me and spoke to me, on the underground actually, and they told me what I had to hear at that point of time. And I was just about to give up on my journey when they came and they spoke to me. And yeah, yeah, I mean, I call them my guardian angels, but they might have been random people talking to each other, and I must have overheard, or maybe I was hallucinating. I don't know, but it helped me. So I like to think that they
Yeah.
they were my guardian angels.
Amazing. Great. In fact, we'll talk about a lot of secrets of how it functions, what is the structure, and how we can manifest. Maybe I'll be of some help to Rachna because we'll talk about how to manifest what we
Okay.
think and how does that work, what is the process, in what cases does it function, what cases does not function, and we'll be doing it in the session. So I'll try whatever I have, I'll share with you, and I'm so happy. Claire, would you like to please share if you have any experience that yeah, mind is powerful or anything, if it comes to you, please.
Um, yeah, just what happens quite a lot is I can be thinking of somebody and they uh, send me a text or ring me, and that happens, yeah, really quite a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment.
Okay, that's good. Okay, now let's continue with the self-analysis. So my question was, have you ever experienced the power of mind? So certainly you have certain experiences. And now the next question is again very simple. Which there are four categories of people. These are very simple categories. Okay, so you have to categorize yourself if you can. So the first category is the world is not good. I'm also not good, not fit for it. So the world is not good, and I'm also not suitable and fit for it. One is the world is bad, I am not suitable for it, I am also bad. Second category is the world is bad, I am good. You don't know how I'm managing. Third category is the world. Uh, Second category is world is not good, I am good. Then I am not good, the world is good. And the last is I am good, the world is good. Generally, people are struggling between them and the people around them, the kind of environment they have professionally or family wise. So, one is the world is bad, it's not worth living, and I'm also not fit for it. The world is bad, I am bad. Second, the world is bad, I am good. I don't know how I'm striving. Okay. Then second one is the world is good, but I am not fit for it. And the last is the world is good, I am good. So if you can categorize from the first, second, third, and fourth, but be honest, because those who are blaming others, always blaming others, they are say, I am good, the world is bad. So they always find out a reason of what they victimize themselves and say, oh, I've always been good to others. It's all the people around me who are bad. So they always have, they keep the gun on the shoulder and they're regular hitting others. So that's also an ideology. Um so find out which one you are. The world is bad, I am bad. The world is good, I am bad. Then the world is bad, I am good. The world is good, I am good. Is that okay? I hope it was not a very difficult question to answer. We can fit in any of these. Okay. Then uh, one more question. You have to tell me one thing that makes you feel happy and another thing that makes you feel sad. Generally, observe your patterns. Something that makes you feel happy. Write one thing or two things that makes you feel happy. Then under that, something that makes you feel sad. Generally. Done? Should we proceed? Okay, that's good. That's good. Claire, can we proceed?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So this is going to be of some help to us. We will be sharing this to you, the self-analysis form if you wish. And if there is a broadcast group that we already have of this. If you wish that guided meditation to be sent to you, you can share your number so that Gaurav sir, and then he will add you to that broadcast. So we will share this self-analysis and a guided meditation to you. And every week also we'll be sending certain informations to you through the broadcast so that you can practice the whole week, and the next week we can discuss the progress for where we are, and we can discuss if there are some issues, and we can continue. So I hope that's okay, right? And if you're not comfortable in sharing, then whatever we do in the class, it's okay then, right? I'll share the presentation again. Right. So we were talking about the mind, the conscious, subconscious. Now this is an image that we have got designed. This is how I visualize or understand mind. So now this guy, you can see the brain. Brain is, I said, the kind of a hardware, but the way it functions, the way it governs the whole body, the whole software is what is called as mind. Now human mind is basically a baggage. It's like a bag. You can understand this as a bag, okay? Now this is a baggage of desires, thoughts, emotions, imaginations. You can see, I think you can see a couple of lines, red, blue, green, different colored lines. So these are different impressions. It could be different thoughts, emotions, it could be imaginations, it could be desires. So we have this bag, huge bag of consciousness, which is full of informations. From where have they come from? We have gathered them, continuously filling the bag, and it has become loaded. So there is no person in the universe who's not a knowledgeable person, because see, a lot of people go to school, correct, they learn from there. But is schooling the only way of learning? No. Even through your experiences, you learn. Those people who don't attend school, they also learn through experiences. They learn by day-to-day life. So everyone is gathering informations. Now, there will be a question, what are you collecting? Good informations, harmonious informations, disharmonious, and what are you collecting? Now, that is one question. But you have a bag, you are filling it. So in the conscious state, the waking state, I'm continuously filling the bag. What do I have in the bag? It's a mixture. It's a mixture of different kind of thoughts, emotions, desires, imaginations. So the more imaginations you have, you fill them. The more desires, you fill them. The more thoughts, you fill them. They are there. They're getting stored. They're getting stored. Very powerful system we have, very powerful. So you can understand the upper part, which is known to you, is the conscious mind. We are right now in the waking state, which is the conscious mind. There are three stages, right? Body consciousness, time consciousness, world consciousness. But when I transcend to the subconscious mind, into the dream state or the deep sleep state, I go to the subconscious mind. There, I don't have the body consciousness. I don't have the time consciousness. I don't have the world consciousness. I am deep into myself as just consciousness. And there is another level, you can call it a basement, some level under it, which even the subconscious does not know. So can you imagine how much of informations we have? Now let us understand that the conscious mind is a state where three things can be done. Number one, this is the only state through which you can generate focus. Now, one question is, if you have so much of information, then why don't you feel that you have information? Because in the conscious state, you are outwardly, all the senses are outward. We are aware outwardly. We have no idea what is happening inside. So conscious mind is like a ship. It's like a captain of the ship. The front office, like a reception, which is just merely communicating with the external world, gathering informations, collecting informations, right? Through thought, physical movement, writing, picture, speech. It is just collecting informations. And what it is doing, and through the either the five senses or the body, and it is filling it in the subconscious bag, the subconscious mind. So in the conscious state, something that we can do is, one, we can gather information, but are we sure we are collecting harmonious informations, or we are collecting anything? We are collecting anything. So that is one question. Gathering information, there is a question. Second is, this is the only ability where you can direct your focus, because please understand that if you have to get into your subconscious mind where there is unlimited informations and lot of things hidden and your powers hidden, many things hidden, you can go inside only with focus. That is called mindfulness. So with all your attention at one point, you can get inside. Otherwise, you cannot. So conscious mind is a state where you can direct focus. That is why you sit in this state and do meditation, right? So one, this state is good for collecting information. So one question is, what kind of informations are we collecting? Are we open to any kind of informations, or are we choosy? So now I would maybe discuss a little bit. Rachna, are you choosy in watching television, or you watch anything that is on, or you are particular about the kind of a program you would like to watch?
I think I'm very choosy. And I think over a period of time, I've had the ability to block out things from my surroundings that I'm not interested in, which sometimes includes my parents talking, but it's that has helped me as well. But yeah, I think I can focus quite
So
a
there
lot.
is certainly a filter that you have.
Yeah.
And what is harmonious collection is that if you have an objective, for example, you are into any career, anything, you are into finance, economics, then you are certainly looking at the news which is related to the subject. So it's an harmonious information. But something that you have no idea, you keep watching, you see any movie which is scary, and then you don't like it, but you keep seeing it, and then in the night, the same
Feels
thing you comes in your dream, and then you scream, and then everybody says, why did you watch that movie? Said, no, it was already on, so I thought I'll watch it, and then it was interesting also.
yeah,
So
yeah.
filter is what I'm talking about in collecting information. Okay, Claire, I wish to discuss with you, are you choosy with people around you, in the sense that those who add harmonious informations, or anybody comes and talks to you and you say, okay, the person had come just to share, I couldn't stop that person? So do you have that filter in or selectivity with people?
Um, if somebody came and took me who was
Can you be a little louder, Claire? I'll be really happy, although you are audible, very clearly audible, but I'll be more happy if I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
yeah. I would say I I wouldn't not talk to somebody because they were negative, but I would note to myself that they perhaps saw the glass half empty rather than half full, and you know, be careful that I didn't take that on. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Priya, do you have that kind of that selectivity or filter with environment, people, or television or anything? Because we are gathering information continuously.
Yes, very much. Especially in my workplace, I'm very selective of who I talk to, who is in my group. And the TV, especially the news, I try to, because I find it so negative.
Not be nice to me, and this is what has happened, and certainly I realize this conversation is turning gossipy conversation, right? And this person is treating me like a dustbin. He's throwing all his garbage that is happening. Garbage is the negativity of the life into me, whereby I am of actually no help to him. I cannot, Neither I'm the subject, the object. I cannot be of any help. So what selectivity is, I would say, dear friend, see, I will not be able to help you out. So there's no, advantage of sharing with me, because I have to say no. I have to say, brother, stop. I have to say, you are filling into me, because, I'm going to listen to you twice and thrice, and I'll discuss with my wife. And then one day after 10 such incidences, I'll take it as my life also. No, wives are not like this and that. So, human mind, I'll tell you, the subconscious especially acts very kiddish. So this is a filter that we know. I'll tell him that you please go to your wife and talk to her. See, this is between you and her. Is there an advantage of talking to me? No. Then why do you waste your energy? Come on, don't do that, please. So I have to say no to him. That's called a filter. That's called being selective in informations. So I'll say I'm with you, but there is no advantage. You can go and see a counselor. You can talk to your wife, but no advantage. So filter means, I generally say, I talk to people, and when I say, I'll tell them, don't let people use you as a dustbin. We are here to share positivity. When Rachna said something positive, I was happy. So I'm appreciating all of you for your positivity. You are appreciating me for my positivity. That's a good thing. But for negativity or problem, we have to connect to the master. For example, you have physical ailment, you go to a doctor. If you have problem with your spouse, you go to the spouse, right? Because you have to resolve it. Just talking means spreading for no purposes. Like I appreciate what Priya said. I even do that. I don't watch too much of news, because there are less of positive news. There are more of political news. So I find it, no, I'm not a political person. I don't find interest in it. Maybe to a political person, it is of use. So I don't find so much of interest. So maybe 5 minutes, if I see, it's okay. Otherwise, I don't want to gather that information. I rather want to gather information about mind or self or spirituality, meditation, someone doing good, something happening good. So it's our objective with which we have to get harmonious informations. So news is not bad for media people, good. For political people, good. But for us, maybe not that good. So one is filter. Second is selectivity. Third is, we understand that, no, I don't need these information. So when you're taking harmonious informations, your mind is working selectively. When you take anything and everything that comes to you, the mind gets confused. It's like, jack of all trades, master of none. So it's like so many things inside. Not a good idea. Okay, I'll share the PPT again. So three things we can do. One, we can gather information, but we have to be selective. We can't gather anything and everything. Second, we can direct focus. This is the only state through which we have to gather our attention at one point, and then from conscious, we can transcend to subconscious. Third, we can imagine in this state. We can discriminate between reality and imagination only in the conscious state. In the subconscious state, it takes all the informations as real. Your imaginations are also real to subconscious. Okay. So conscious mind is the mind that we are in right now. And the subconscious mind is the bag. Actually, we call it a guru. We call it a master. The subconscious mind is in charge of our memories. All that you've been gathering from the day one you were born. Continuously data collection, and it is getting filled. It is in a continuous contact with the hidden and the deep resources of the unconscious. I told you, conscious, subconscious, and the unconscious. So conscious is in contact with the unconscious and the conscious, but we have no idea what we have in the subconscious, because we are only aware of the waking state, that is the conscious state of mind, right? It has a strong sense of awareness related to surrounding when you are in the subconscious state. That means when you are sleeping, even at that point, you are aware of the environmental conditions of what is happening. There are a lot of people who dream. Okay. And like I gave an example of Priya, that she saw a dream, and in that dream she saw a snake, and suddenly at 2 o'clock in the night, the phone rang. So the subconscious may feel that it is, or may know, or may be aware that it is important. So suddenly in her dream, she will find that in the forest, she finds she's holding a mobile and it is ringing. In her dream, immediately the scene will change and it will assimilate the reality of phone ringing. and she will get up and she'll realize, oh, the phone is ringing, because in the dream also the scene will come. So subconscious is very smart. It is aware of the surrounding. It knows what is happening even when you are sleeping. It is conscious. So human subconscious mind has more than 2 million bits of data, and it is processing every second. It is analyzing at what time? When you are sleeping. Natural analyzation, natural filtration, natural prioritization, analysis, all that processing is being done when you sleep. The sorting of data is being done when you are sleeping. That is one of the reasons the mind kind of squeezes itself. That is why it says to the conscious mind, brother, please don't collect further information. Too much of information you have already collected in 16 hours. Now let me analyze. For example, you go to office. In the bank is a good idea to discuss, because there are a couple of hours which are with the public that they interact. And there are a few hours then they sit, the public cannot enter, and the back-end staff is working. What they are doing, they are, you know, kind of sorting and doing everything at the back end. So exactly this is the case when you are in the conscious state. We are waking, we are collecting. But in the night, when you are in a deep sleep state, your mind is sorting information. It is analyzing, filtering, all that thing is happening. But remember, there is one very important word, and that is prioritization. Whatever, when the sorting is done, whenever you, whatever you prioritize will be on the top. What you don't prioritize will go down. Okay, I would again like to discuss. Priya, what was your favorite subject in school?
I had actually science.
Word, we have to remember one word as prioritization. Priority means what is that area where you're working at right now. So if we are clear, the master will help us. If you're not clear, it's a no, life is okay, let it go on. Then it's like a confused state, and you see the circumstances as they come. Okay. So this is one very important perspective, prioritization. I'll again share, maybe if it will be of some use. So this, G, please.
This is actually something very useful you're saying, because normally when we think about the subconscious mind, there's a negative connotation attached to it, you know. A lot of the times you would say, oh, it's in the subconscious, oh, it's coming up again. And
Yeah.
so, but the fact that it can actually help us, you know, is a good concept.
There is a word in Hindi called guru. Guru
Yeah.
means the master.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's like a master. It will help you in even the worst time, and you'll come out it. So mind is a very, very important tool. You should only know how to use it.
Yeah.
And we are all blessed to have the sharpest tool, because human consciousness is the most awakened level of consciousness. Animal consciousness, little lesser. Plant consciousness, even lesser. Inanimate consciousness, even. So the physical beings, out of them, human consciousness is the most awakened level of consciousness. But we have to realize that ultimate end of that consciousness. Where is it? So we already know a very little part of it. The conscious mind is, you know, like giving us a preview, a very basic idea. Okay, and then you don't see the whole movie. It's only the initial part, the trailer you see, and you become happy. Wow, great. Yeah, I have a great mind. The whole movie is yet something which you haven't seen. So we need to see the whole movie now. Okay. So there are memories in the subconscious, and there are some current programs also, because if there is a fight you had in the daytime, so that will go on, you know, in the night, and dream, that could turn out to be a dream also. So it has memories, it could have current programs running, and filters is something very important. Filter is something very important. Filters could be your beliefs. Filters could be your values. These are inbuilt filters. Now, like Rachna had her own filters and sensation, you write, then I'll discuss sensations. So it has memories, it has current programs, it has filters, it has even the sensory information. So you note down the 4 points. Now, what is sensory information? Through the 5 senses. Even we taste something, we smell something, all that is gathered. Your mother cooks really delicious dish, information gets in. You eat something and you say, wow, it gets recorded. So there are a lot of time you find people who have recorded tastes. They say, this, my mother used to cook this in a better manner. You know, this is a little texture like this and that. So people have a language for taste, for smell, not always words. So it's all encoded. It's inside, it's recorded. And the most important thing which I would love to talk about is natural filters you come with. What are natural filters? Like Rachna has a filter. She says a television program, I'm selective. Priya has some filters. Then Claire has certain filters. Now these are filters that in conscious mind you have. Now what are the subconscious filters? Beliefs. Don't go out in the night. There could be a ghost outside. Now that could be your belief. And if it is your belief, it is a belief. And if you have such a belief, then certainly there'll be a ghost. You will just hear a sound and you'll start running. And no, 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 there was someone following me. You don't believe it. Another person goes and he says, oh, there was nothing. It was just a little bit of sound, air. Okay. I tell you, there was an incident in India. I think couple of you might be knowing in India, those ladies who become widow, they wear white clothes. So this lady, yeah, she took her sari. What they wear, Claire, is called a sari, right? So it was outside in the balcony. Now in the night, there might be breeze or something. So this sari flew and it went on the tree. Maybe, I don't know the way it, in whatever shape. Now this lady came out. Suddenly she found that there was a lot of air and the tree was moving like this. So what she saw, she perceived was a kind of a woman wearing a sari on the tree. Okay. And moving like this. Now, if you already have the filter of belief that there are woman ghosts, okay, and they may be after woman. So even if there is nothing, there is certainly a ghost. 100% ghost is there, because there is a strong perception, there is a strong belief, and you will actually see it. You know, the mind will perceive it in a way that will look truth to you. And the lady died. See, I've heard of it. To be very honest, I am not a witness to such a story, but I've heard it. So it was funny and sad also, because we have to frame our mind for strong situation, not for weak situation. But if we have a belief, certain belief, then it's very easy for the subconscious to frame a story. So she saw that that lady or the ghost, a spirit is wearing her sari, and on the tree she is moving, and she died. And then morning people realized that that sari was, you know, in that shape, it was on the tree, it was looking like a kind of a female, but there was nothing. So God knows what's the reality, all that. But what I'm trying to say through this story is, we have to understand that our beliefs are filters. You say, I'm strong, nothing will happen to me. There are a lot of people in India who go to jungles for their sadhanas. What they do? They don't even carry a bamboo stick or a weapon. They go deep into the jungles and they sit there and they close their eyes and do their sadhanas. Now they don't carry any because they're fearless, absolute fearless. So when you have a belief that I'm safe, similarly, the subconscious will help you. You go through different path, you sit under, you maybe select subconsciously a safer position, sit under a tree. So all things are happening because the master will guide you accordingly. What we need to understand is what kind of beliefs do we have? What kind of values do we have? Now, this could be traditional, this could be local, this could be parent given, it could be your own. There could be many things. So filters are your own beliefs and values that you are born with sometimes, but they are very strong in us. You can't, you can work on them. Certainly they are possible. We can work on them. Anything can be transformed. But remember, filters are strong filters. We need to put in a lot of effort to overcome them. You can do it, 100%. I have seen people, I heard one word from Rachna, anxiety. We have one of our faculties in our institution, and she had very high levels of anxiety. Oh, she used to see a dog and she used to scream, scream as if it is like a crocodile or a lion or a tiger, even a small puppy, cute puppy. She used to scream. And I used to tell her, come on, it's a cute animal, dude, love it. Oh, And in this 1.5 year or 2 year, I found her, she's friendly with dogs now. I find it a great success. You know, if you can't stand in front of an animal, and now you've become friendly with a black dog. She told me, now I have one black dog outside my house. I feed him and I'm friendly with him. I said, great success. That's amazing. Because it's, see, for me, I would say, no, it's nothing. But for a person who's fighting with a fear or with certain thing in life, it is not easy, because it is strong in you, in your subconscious mind. So it is slowly, we walk one step ahead, and we know we'll win. But when we stop moving, you stop improving. So we have to keep moving. So I feel so happy when she says I'm friendly with the black dog and I feed him. So I feel happy that yes, you have, I said this is success. So small successes are also great accomplishments. Okay. So subconscious, couple of things we've already discussed. It records everything. Whatever you gather, it is alert and aware. And 95% of our life is controlled by the master. Master is, I'm referring to the subconscious. 95% of the life is controlled by the subconscious. This is a very important information, because when we start connecting to subconscious, we even get surprised. I had so much of information, I didn't know I was that intelligent. And then you think, why I didn't get marks in school, good grades I didn't get. So again, it's a matter of prioritization and right usage or help from the master. It is built on habituation, means habits. And the subconscious can connect to you through the dreams. And there is no verbal language. You can't talk to your subconscious, but certainly dream is one way of connecting. Meditation is another way of connecting. And it can do trillion things at one time, not just one or two, trillion things at one time. It is like a baby. All the information it has, it takes them as true. It takes them as true. Now this point is also for health. So that is why if we have to work, can I stop the share if you have noted them down? Now, a very simple but an important point. I said, whatever is in the subconscious, it takes it as a reality. Now, I want to fill my subconscious mind for my priorities, my objectives. How can I fill? Now, we will be moving ahead with this as one of the solutions. I think everybody knows about the secret, law of attraction, very common thing. But I had worked on it, why it works in couple of cases, why not in couple of cases. That's very important for us. So we will fill our subconscious with valuable informations. What kind of valuable informations? Something which I'm prioritizing right now. I will fill my subconscious, which will help me in improving my speed towards the objective of life. How will I fill it? I will visualize, I will imagine, and that data which will go to the subconscious, it takes it as a reality. Subconscious, the only problem with it, it takes every information as just an information. I'll repeat. Subconscious treats every information merely as an information. So even if it is not a reality, we give lot of new, amazing, positive informations. We supply amazing, positive information to subconscious mind and the master and prioritize it. One, we prioritize it. Second, we'll fill it with positive informations, and the more positive information, the more harmonious information, the more prioritized informations, we move towards the target. I repeat again. The more harmonious information. What is harmonious information? For example, Rachana is into the field of finance. In the television, she sees the news related to finance, economics. So these are harmonized information, which are supportive, right? Harmonized information she collects. Second is prioritize. Now prioritize could be harmonized, but priority is maybe she's working on anxiety. So whatever informations you require related to that, when you keep filling, and they have to be positive informations, your mind starts functioning and helping you in that direction. So subconscious is already doing trillions of things. Now, if it can keep you alive when you are sleeping, if it can heal you when you are sleeping, if it can mend your situation when you're sleeping, it can also bring you outside anxiety. See, you don't ask your lungs, you don't ask your heart, please keep pumping. I'm going to sleep. There are very important commitments tomorrow morning. You don't do that. You know, I'm sleeping. When I'll wake up, I'll be alive. How do you know? The subconscious is doing many things at the time. When it can do healing, when it can do this, when it can do that, it can keep your heart, lungs, kidney, mind, everything functioning as it is. Ask him, come on, take me out of anxiety. When you can do so many things, 1 trillion things, add one more thing to the trillion. The only thing is, the mind subconscious is programmed to do it. So it is doing without asking. You don't ask your heart, brother, keep pumping. Tomorrow is an important day for me. You don't do that. No, because it is programmed. It knows I have to do it. It says, Rachna, please don't give me orders. I know what I have to do. But Rachna says, great programming. One more programming, relaxed, fearless life. She's not saying, I want to come out of anxiety. We only use positive words. She says, relaxed, comfortable, and fearless life. Just one more programming, do it. You have to handle it, my dear. I am giving respect to the mind by saying, master, 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 kind of appreciating the unknown. So it is me only. No one, out of me, but kind of respect to my own self. Okay. I feel full of gratitude, happy when I say that. So you add one more programming. You say they are doing trillion thing. One more thing you have to do. What? Fearless life. It will happen. And soon you will realize you have moved 1 step ahead, then 2 steps ahead, then 10 steps ahead. And then once you do it, Rachna, you will appreciate yourself like this. And believe me, you'll treat yourself. You'll go alone to a restaurant. You'll treat yourself and you'll take a selfie taking treat and come back. Because these are the things that we are actually looking for in life to improve the quality of life. And so much is within, but so less utilized, so less known. I always pray to God that we are all the children of the Almighty, but very few people are able to explore their consciousness and understand how and what they can do in this life. This body, we have got the body for a purpose. Some people know the purpose, they attain the purpose. Some have no idea what they have come for to this planet Earth. And certain things they're certainly doing, but they find some kind of an emptiness in life, irrespective of the fact that they have money, they have name, fame, they have everything, yet they are looking for something. Okay. So let's keep moving. Any questions? Any questions? If you have any queries, please ask. I am enjoying this session with all of you because when the video is on, I can see your faces and we can interact. So I'm enjoying. Okay, Rachna, any queries? And Claire, any queries? Priya, any queries? Please feel free to ask.
I just want, you said that you'd known a couple of examples where the law of attraction hadn't worked and when it had worked. So I just wondered what if you could just say why you felt it hadn't worked.
Why did you feel that? Please, can you repeat? Beg your pardon.
Yeah, I think you were talking. Was I right in thinking you were talking about sort of law of attraction?
Yeah.
And you
I'll explain law of attraction in coming sessions in detail. That's going to be a elaborated subject. It'll take at least 2.5 hours. So I'll explain. It's a part of the program. We'll do it properly. I'm just giving a little brief so that law of attraction can be explained in coming sessions. So I'll explain how it happens. So I'll explain the whole process to you.
Yeah, no, it's just you said that there were you've noted a couple of times when it hadn't worked, the reasons why it hadn't worked, and I just wondered if you could say why you think it hadn't worked on those occasions.
Okay. That also I'll discuss. I'll give you a little brief about it. When people do not feel that they deserve it, it doesn't happen to them. They say, they visualize they are fearless, but some corner they think, no, small puppy can, they think they treat it like a dragon. So somehow they say, I am doing it because somebody told me, but they don't believe it is possible. When you don't feel you deserve it or you can do it, then it is very difficult because it's a half-hearted attempt. One more thing, people do not continue do it. Consistency I have not seen with couple of people. They do it for a couple of days and they say, oh, it's a monotonous process and forget it. But I'll tell you a couple of examples of those people who learn bicycling. For people who start learning, it's difficult to maintain balance. Our weight is comparatively much more than the bicycle. You sit on it, just imagine ideally it should fall here or here. So when you start learning, it is difficult to do, okay? But once you know it, and then you can't fall. Now, once it gets subconsciously programmed, then you can't, you say, oh, it's easy. And then you treat it like anything. I've seen people, when they start learning driving, they say, oh, this is brake, this is accelerator, right, left, indicator, all that. And it's like a difficult task, everything difficult. I can't manage the GPS with this, with that. Once they know it after 6 months or 1 year, and then they are doing multitasking. They say, I don't know how, car, you automatically drives by itself. It seems as if you don't drive it. It is happening. When things become automatic, it is subconscious programmed. But when people don't feel they deserve it, when the people do it half-heartedly, or they've never experienced that they can do it. But if I'll share you one example. My daughter was very young at that time when we were on a vacation, and I told her that, do you wish to learn something new? She was, I think, 4th or 5th class. So she said, okay. So I told her just 10 points, but I thought mind training is too much for a small child. I said, just note down 5 points. If you are okay with it, you note them down. But believe me, your mind can attract certain things. I said, your mind is like a magnet. It can selectively attract. Now she thought, okay, because she believed me maybe. And we were on a trip it was a kind of a countryside area, and I wanted her to walk. So we were like walking around, and she never wanted to walk. So she closed her eyes and she started manifesting because she wanted the vehicle to come down. She never wanted to walk and come down. So I could see that she's closing her eyes, and you can very easily frame out children that they are doing something. She had learned, so she was using those techniques. But it was big surprise for me because children are very simple to accept. They don't put a lot of logic, If I say something, okay, they do it. Very simple. 2, 3 things she manifested. One, she wanted to have Maggie. And just imagine the power of the subconscious mind. There were many ways in the mountain we could go up. So she said, Papa, let's go from this side. She closed her eyes, and see, her desires are small. Like a child is thinking of Maggie. Simple, okay? Nothing, because she was hungry. She wanted to eat something. So I said, okay, that side. The place where we reached, there were hardly any shops. It was a countryside area. And there was one shop where there was Maggie and tea, and there was a temple. So I just saw her. She said, so I could understand that, she's understood what I'm trying to say. And then second manifestation that she did was she never wanted to come walking. Okay. And I wanted her to walk. So she manifested that she wanted to come by a Jeep or any vehicle. And I realized that there was a Jeep and we came through the Jeep. So I was very happy because this is just a small incident only with the child that I'm saying that just by knowing certain points, if you're clear, but you have conviction, if your demands are small, it can be easily achievable. If you wish to be the prime minister or president, it's going to take years. So I'm not saying everything can happen within seconds or minutes, but it is the surrender, it is the belief within self that can really give amazing results, because the master can guide you. The master was guiding her that this path go, you can find a shop. There were 2, 3 paths. She took an option which was the prioritized option. Then Jeep, maybe there was an availability, or you can call it a coincidence or whatever, but somehow she developed a confidence that I can do something that my father is teaching me. So with people who become grown up and they develop too much of logic, sometimes they only get into the logics. But I always pray that we should always explore something we have. We should always try and do something, and we get results. Then we catch hold of it. Then we start working on it regularly. So I've seen it's not just a case of a kid. With many mature people also, those who have been attached with different programs, I've seen a lot of people manifesting, changing themselves, working on themselves, changing the filters also. Filter means belief and values. Okay, I'll continue.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think we have had a discussion related to conscious, and the unconscious mind is that part of the subconscious which is least used informations, which even the subconscious has no idea. So it's that stored informations. And in the Vedic or the yogic philosophy, it could be referred to as the Kundalini, the amazing storehouse. But these are uh, this is a storehouse of informations of the past or least used, or beliefs or habits or behavioral patterns, lot of things, but they are less prioritized. Okay. Now there is a science behind the whole concept, and the science is related to the neurons that we have in us. And the average human brain contains approximately 8.86 billion nerve cells called the neurons. The whole neurological system is basically a structure of the neurons, right? So when we stimulate ourselves or we send messages, we are basically stimulating the neurons in the body, and the impulse goes. So the whole is about the neuronic flow, the structure of neurons. Okay. So let's get conscious about what? That mind collects data through the five senses. This is something the mind information through the five senses. Then it stores them in the subconscious or the unconscious mind. Okay, it stores. Third, it can retrieve whenever required. If you wish, for example, I asked a question from Priya, which subject you like? She told me, obviously all of us know. Now, a little difficult question, me the name of the mentor or your teacher. So now it's called retrieving data whenever required. Remember, you can retrieve data easily your prioritized area, but you will retrieve data of your prioritized area or the things which you have never prioritized. Some we have studied, but we don't remember everything. There are a lot of meet who do not like mathematics, so they don't even remember they've studied not geometry or not. They don't know. I don't know. I don't remember, because they never wanted to remember. Now, fourth point is there is lots of unused data stored in your subconscious mind. There is lot of information which is unused. Then unconscious mind hold what? Beliefs, habits. Output depends on data stored. Output is what comes out. So whatever you have filled will come out. So if you are filling positive informations, output spontaneous reactions will be positive. If you are filling only negative, your spontaneous reactions will be negative. So this is a very basic thing, but if your general automatic reactions are negative, apprehensive, you find problems in other people very easily. That means the subconscious has more of negative informations. But if your spontaneous reactions are positive, that means your subconscious has more positive information. So what you feel is something that comes out. So if life is messed up or problems are there, certainly there are some roots of problem in the subconscious also. Now, what helps us in selectivity of filters? Intellect helps us. And the most important thing is the root of positive or negative is within us. The root of positive or negative is within us. If our life is negative, certainly there is a root of negativity. So we try and work on it also. And what is the solution? Reprogramming of mind. What is the solution? Reprogramming of mind is a great solution. We keep repeating certain tasks, positive tasks, solution tasks. We keep repeating certain positive affirmative statements. We call it in Atmantan as promise to self. Tomorrow we will be doing it. We will be we would be doing this small task. I promise to myself to be cheerful. I promise to myself. So I'm just what I'm doing. I am just putting certain positive statements and we repeat it. I will be doing it once, right? And we'll be sending you this promise to self on the through the broadcast. The self-analysis, a guided meditation, and this promise to self. And I would appreciate that you repeat it. You read it twice or thrice. You read it twice or thrice. Believe me, those promises are like a summary of 3,500 religions. You just need to repeat, 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 and gets into your subconscious. Then you realize, oh, I am comparatively quite cheerful now. And earlier you used to get pissed off at a small situation, used to like scream, and abhi to sab kuch, everything seems to be, your patience is increasing. So there are certain changes you're finding automatically coming. I just need to train the master, although the master is intelligent, the master is amazing, but I'm trying to be a little harmony with the master. So it's like a kind of connect which is not known, connect with the mysterious, connect with someone whom I want to be friendly with, and connect with someone who has to help me. Actually, the master is only helping you. When you are in deep sleep state, you are alive because of the master. You do nothing to keep yourself alive except eating food, bathing, all that. But that's not sufficient to keep alive. The anatomy is great, but physiology means functioning of organs is something which is very important. Functioning is, see, having a heart is not important. Working of the heart is important, right? What is keeping it pumping? So that's what we are emphasizing all. The master keeps the organ functioning. No, keep working, keep doing, keep working. So it's like that coordinated. We call that as physiology. Or we have different physiological systems, right? Reproduction system, excretion system, neurological system, immune system, right? So the master is smart, but let's get friendly with the master. Let's request the master to help us in further more things. So it's not like undue demands. It's acceptable. Okay. So we'll note down these points and then we'll move towards the meditation. So reprogramming is something, yes, I think that's sufficient. Reprogramming is filling it some more data, some more information. So tomorrow, when we'll do the session, we'll do promise to self. And as I told you, there are a lot of more people who are a part of it. And we'll start the meditation. So I'll give you a little brief about meditation. Any queries related to whatever we have had a discussion, please feel free to ask. Claire, do you have any queries? Can I be of any help?
No, I'm all right. Thank you.
Okay, Rachna, can I help you?
Yeah, just one question. So there are memories in both subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. And they are both accessed when required. In terms of our active access to either of these minds, which mind can be actually accessed through meditation or deep focus or manifestation? Is it the subconscious or the unconscious?
Subconscious. You cannot access the unconscious mind. Unconscious mind is done only after deep sadhanas, when your meditation goes more than 8 hours in a day.
Right, right.
So it's not easy to unlock.
Right. So the reprogramming then, does that happen of the subconscious mind?
Subconscious. No, you will not be connecting to the unconscious. It's like something, that part of your own consciousness, which is far. It's like Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
So you say Mars is achievable. Pluto, oh, far off. So it's like that. So it's a part of the solar system, but quite far off. So unconscious part is that part. Okay. So you are actually programming the subconscious, that part which is connected to the conscious. But that is the best part, is it will give you that important informations, right decisions. And the best part of subconscious is when you have to take decision, the master will help. You may have 3 choices. You may have 4 choices. Now you will pick up the one which will help you in long run. That's the help of the master. Priya, do you have any queries?
No, I think I'm okay so far. Good.
Okay. Now, what is the objective of meditation? In Hindi, we call it dhyan, although there are many words. And in yoga, there are levels that start from one step to the 8 steps leading to samadhi. But objective, I'll make it very simple. I won't take you to that yogic philosophy. But one very basic thing is the mind is full of thoughts, full of emotions, desires, imagination. There is a lot of things happening. More than in the body is what is happening in the mind. Now, generally, people are in the state of body consciousness. So only thinking about weight and shoulders and this and that and all that kind of body consciousness is what they're thinking of. If they close their eyes, they get stuck into the mind. They get entangled into their thoughts, entangled into their desires and something of the memories of the past. And so they do nothing except deep thinking. Now that's not the objective. Objective of meditation is to transcend the conscious mind. What is conscious mind? Something which is the current run program. You have to cross that and you have to reach an area which is unexplored. You have to cross the conscious mind in the conscious state. Now this is the amazing journey. You are in the conscious state right now, in the waking state. So you transcend the conscious mind and reach where? The subconscious. This is difficult. Why? Because there is a running program. See, you have a memory, something which is going on. Now you have to say stop to it and go to some level. Why? Because there is a lot of information there. You want to use that. You want to retrieve that. You want to harmonize with it. So meditation, the first step of meditation is focus. You have to gather all your attention at one point, and then with all preparation, say I'm prepared. Then I repeat, you have to gather all your attention at one point, and then with all that focus, then you go deep within. So I'll tell you step by step. First step is you have to find out a very peaceful place in your house where there is no distraction and no disturbance. What is distraction? Some painting that you look at it and start thinking about the past. No. And no disturbance like generally sound or anything of that sort. So don't sit in a kind of a common place. You find out a peaceful corner where you can sit. Now, what is the one is space. Second is the how do you sit? See, generally, right now I'm also sitting in the Sukhasana. Sukhasana is when your legs are like this, okay? And legs are like this, and your hands are in the Dhyan Mudra. Dhyan Mudra is both the fingers touching each other, and the 3 fingers are like this. This is the most popular way of doing meditation. But that's not the only way. Let us understand, because we have to cross the body and the mind and go to the subconscious. Okay. Another way is you can sit in normally like this, and you can keep one hand like this, second hand like this, and like simple. So like this, you sit. If you cannot sit on ground, it's okay. You can take a comfortable chair, which should have an ergonomic back. You can sit on a chair. Make sure you are comfortable. If you are physically not comfortable, meditation will be difficult. So sitting on ground is okay. If it's not possible, take a chair rather than a sofa set, because sofa will be too comfortable, and then your person sitting next will realize that you're snoring. So it's not meditation, it's sleeping then. Okay. So it shouldn't be too comfortable. It should be a straight back or a comfortable chair. So you sit on the chair, and you can just put your hands like this, or you can like this. Even some people do like this. It's also okay. But generally the back is straight, spine is straight, the tongue over because it creates less saliva, and head like this. So this is generally a recommended posture, although it's not conclusive, it is suggestive. Okay. There could be 100 more ways of doing it. And generally with people with objectives, we recommend certain things, but I'm telling you the easiest. So what we'll do today is we will listen to a music. We will just first 2 to 3 minutes gather all the attention at one point, that is music. 100% we'll feel music around us. So first point is, I think you are already in a very peaceful place, and I hope you are in a, not a very comfortable, but chair or whatever you have, you are sitting comfortably. And then third point is, we will be first the third point is we will be listening to a music and we'll be 100% dipped into a music. Once we listen to music, then I will ask you to focus on your breath. Now you have to focus on the nostrils, the inner part. I just do it for a second. Can you feel the breath coming in? The inside part of the nose, the nostril, can you feel the breath coming in and moving out? Can you feel that? If you can, please show me this. That yes, I can feel the breath. That's good. Thank you. That would be the second step. Okay. So I'll keep guiding during the meditation, and I hope you will love your own journey to your own self. Okay. Gaurav, please, can you play the music? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Please sit comfortably. You can take any of the position, either the Dhyan Mudra or this. Make sure your back is straight. Close your eyes. Relax your whole body. Completely relax. 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 Focus completely on the music. Only music. There is nothing except music. Dip yourself into the music. Feel music. The whole space space is full of music. Focus completely on the music. You are dipping yourself completely into the music. Now bring your focus to your nostrils. Just observe your breath coming in and slowly moving out. You just have to observe your breath coming in and moving out. Don't modulate your breath, just watch. Focus on your nostrils, inner part, and just see the breath coming in and moving out. Don't follow any thought. If you get distracted, come again. Focus on the nostril and just observe your thought. Just observe. Only the breath. Do not follow any thought. Don't get distracted. Focus on your breath. Observe it coming in and moving out. the breath. Just watch. Now, slowly rub your hands. Keep them on your eyes and then slowly open your eyes. You may kindly rub your hands, keep them on your eyes and then slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll be meeting tomorrow at the same time and we'll be continuing. And our attempt would be to know the secrets and to master them and to help them to improve our life. And thank you so much. I welcome you all again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.